goes further down this mountain, so every pedal stroke counts for him as well. He grinds this in. Get ready to stop the clock and start timing, and do it now, for goodness sake. Here we are, O'Connor crosses the line. Where is Evenepoel? He'll be round before you know it, and here he is. He's a great rider, he's a great leader of this race. Count the others home, but the time for this man is what is going to count. There it is, 15 seconds by my reckoning that he gives away to Primož Roglic, and the Dave Vine for hanging on, Roglic for trying to find the margin, Evenepoel sustaining himself yet again, tempoing, limiting the damage. There's so many tales to tell here, Robbie.
So many fine performances, and we thought possibly Marc Soler was going to go solo and go to another stage victory, but he blew Arensman. Well, he burst out of the pack. Nobody seemed to be able to reach out and grab it except for the tall Dutchman. So it's Damon Arensman takes the big win, but behind, as you said, so much action. The brave attack of Lopez, tracked by Mas, who's taken a chunk of time back, and Primož Roglic.
Evenepoel for the moment, not in difficulty, but still with 19 kilometres to go. There's a lot of terrain where you can get into difficulty when the pace really kicks off with the big favourites.
Green team Emirates out of position at the moment. They'd like to be in a better place, quite frankly. Meanwhile, look at the way they are working, and look what they've done to the gap, Robbie.
Oh, the gap is melting like snow under the sun. But when we talk about those riders who've been distanced out like Almeida, it's not just the time. He's holding a 26-second gap for the neutral spares car has just gone out of that. Meanwhile, back in the group of favourites, Primož Roglic looked like he was setting a testing tempo for Remco Evenepoel, not an attack, just to try and gauge if Evenepoel is suffering yet. Also in that group was Rein Taramay, the man from Intermarché, and Nico Landa was hanging on there. Tao Gegenhardt just trying to get his way back on, but Marc Soler climb and no longer very steep. So it's more the altitude and the duration of the climb that's going to be the enemy, more than the percentages.
Well, just as Primož Roglic was being lent on as the man who could take the greatest advantage amongst the group of favourites, same deal is having to be borne here by Tieran Arensman. He's being lent on good and proper. And this now is Evenepoel with the whip hand, and the man on the back of this string, as you can see, is Primož Roglic.
You're feeling good, and you're convincing yourself, well, I can do damage here in the final number of kilometres, maybe 5-6 kilometres out, and really go full gas from there to the finish. But suddenly there's somebody can mark you, and maybe more than one can mark you, and they can follow you, and they attack over the top. But that's the great thing about bike racing. That's the exciting part of it for us and for our viewers. And as a rider as well, you just never know how good the rest are.
He's going to change the tempo in the last run to home, but the margin at the moment that Marc Soler has is a handsome one. It's up to 52 seconds, Robin.
Yeah, well, if they're going to catch him, someone's going to have to make a move, because we know Marc Soler, once he finds his tempo, he's not a guy that just crumbles and comes to a standstill. He's often quite the opposite. He comes to more of a standstill in the start of the climb, then he finds his rhythm and rides his way back through nearly everybody. He's already in his rhythm, so that...
Very well. So there's no guarantee who's going to win this stage. I think it's all to fight for in this final 10 kilometres, and depend on those guys here in this chasing group behind Soler, how much they have got to give, or are they all feeling the effects after being out of the breakaway and back in that peloton of Remco Evenepoel as well. Is there a lot more to give from some of those riders? That is the question at the end.
Well, they are